Hello everyone, I am SwordCailiburn687, and today I would talk about Sonic Unleashed. If you guys really want to support this video, smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's begin the video. Sonic Unleashed is a really amazing Sonic game, and I would want a remake. A Sonic Unleashed remake would attract new Sonic fans for being interested in Sonic, and that would be a smart idea. I would want an Unleashed remake to add a new playable character, and it would be Silver. I know that some of you guys might be shocked for me picking Silver, but I have my reasons. Some Sonic fans really want Silver to be playable again, and I hope that it would happen. Sonic Unleashed does have the Werehog, which is a slower gameplay style compared to the Boost games. Before I would talk about Silver Unleashed, I do have to talk about the Werehog, which is majority of Unleashed gameplay. The Werehog would be the #1 priority for Sega and Sonic Team to think about an Unleashed remake. Modern Sonic's gameplay doesn't really need that much improvement in the original Unleashed. The only thing that Sega should do for fixing modern Sonic's gameplay is to fix his drift. Some Sonic fans didn't like the Werehog's gameplay style, all because it wasn't as fast as the Boost gameplay, and some fans didn't like the Werehog's combat. I wasn't one of the Sonic fans that hates the Werehog's combat. The Werehog does have some potential, but I can understand some fans not liking the Werehog. Majority of Sonic Unleashed is the Werehog, and the first thing that Sega needs to do is to fix his gameplay. Majority of Sonic fans won't probably pick up an Unleashed remake if the Werehog isn't improved compared to the original game. I can't talk about a Silver Unleashed until I have ideas to fix the Werehog. I think that Sega should listen to the fan complaints and fix the Werehog's combat and his movement. The Werehog is a big departure from the Boost Sonic gameplay, and because it's slow, people don't like it. A remake to Unleashed does need to stay faithful to the original game's combat, while updating it at the same time for the Werehog. What does Sonic fans do like about Frontier's combat? They do like the combat being faster than Unleashed, and Sonic Frontier's combat is really good. I feel like that improving the Werehog's combat, it should be a blend between Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Unleashed. If Sega does some changes to the Werehog's combat, people would compare it to the original Unleashed, and that would be really interesting. I hope that Sega would greatly improve on the Werehog's combat in an Unleashed remake. Let's get back on talking about Silver. Silver would fit the story of Sonic Unleashed, all because it has a subtle environmental message to it, and it would make sense. Sonic Unleashed does have Shinto themes to it, and I would tell you what Shinto is. Shinto is the belief and the way of the kami. Most people would believe that kami means God, all because of Kami from Dragon Ball, but that is not the case. In Shinto, literally anything could be a kami. A natural disaster, a phenomenon, or even a living thing. Natural disasters, objects, or phenomenons don't have to be considered alive to be a kami. Even though an object is not alive in Shinto, it would be treated like it was alive. Kamis are the representations of respecting anything from your environment, people, nature, and the world. With the belief of Shinto, it is the idea of respecting the world around you and your environment. Kamis are the main centers with majority of Shinto stories within Japan, and it does make sense. If you appreciate or treat a kami well within Shinto, they would live a positive coexistence with you in the world, and that is what mainly Shinto is about. What happens if you disrespect a kami? They would be vengeful towards you, or even try to curse you. The Sonic series does have a lot of Shinto elements within the games that is overlooked with most Western Sonic fans. Beings like Solaris and Light and Dark Gaia would be considered kamis. Sonic 06 does have some Shinto themes within the game's story, all because Solaris' real form is a candle. This would be really confusing for a Western Sonic fan playing 06, but if you understand Shinto, it starts to make sense. Solaris was the representation of a kami that hates humanity, all because the Duke of Soliana was using Solaris for time travel, for trying to resurrect his wife. I think that Iblis was the symbolism of Solaris' rage, while Mephiles, I think, represented Solaris' thoughts, and it does add up. Solaris' rage and anger towards humanity does harm to the world, and that's what Crisis City and even Flame Core represented. Silver's own character arc in Sonic 06 is him trying to save his own future and would do anything to save his world. Now I can understand why people would really want a Silver Unleashed. Since Silver would do anything to protect the world, it would fit well within the story of Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed's plot feels similar to that of the classic Sonic games. Eggman does harm to nature / the world, and Sonic undoes any negative effect that Eggman does upon the world. Eggman was the main villain in Unleashed until Dark Gaia sidelined him. In the Sonic Unleashed story, both Dark and Light Gaia are representations of the day and night cycle, and it makes sense. What does Gaia mean in Greek? It means Earth. Both Dark Gaia and Light Gaia are necessary for keeping the Earth in balance. For Silver Unleashed combat, Sega should base it on Star Wars Fallen Order. With Cal Kestis force mechanics in Star Wars Fallen Order, it is a really good gameplay mechanic, and Sega should use Fallen Order's force mechanic for Silver. Silver should build up his psychokinesis meter by fighting against enemies, and it would be a good idea. My idea would make Silver's combat way more engaging in an Unleashed remake, and it would create a lot of different strategies for Silver refilling his psychokinesis. Silver would refill his psychokinesis meter by grabbing items, and that won't change from Sonic 06. The Asteroid Wisp or the Asteroid Wispon is taking Silver's ability and using it for the Wisp. The Asteroid Wisp or the Asteroid Wispon can throw avatar-like projectiles towards enemies, and I think that Sega can easily replicate Silver's psychokinesis in the Hedgehog engine too. Silver freezing enemies and grabbing enemies should be separate mechanics, and it would be a good idea. Silver can use his psychokinesis to freeze objects, and it would be good within his platforming. If Sonic Team can create new enemies for Silver that is unique to his psychokinesis, and that would be a good idea. The best example of an enemy that can affect Silver's combat, it would be the mini-boss fights in Sonic Unleashed. This mini-boss enemy would take less damage and barely get staggered, and this mini-boss would be immune to some of Silver's psychokinesis abilities, and this mini-boss would be staggered less compared to most enemies. Silver's psychokinesis can barely grab these mini bosses, and Silver would have to use different mechanics in order to beat these mini bosses. Sonic Team could create a skill tree for Silver for unlocking different psychokinesis moves, and that would be really amazing. The two Silver attacks that I would want, it is Psychic Blast and Psychic Knife. Both Psychic Blast and Psychic Knife would be stronger projectiles than Silver's normal psychokinesis. Because Psychic Blast and Psychic Knife are strong psychokinesis abilities, both of these psychic abilities would drain more of Silver's psychic meter. New moves that I would give for Silver, it would be Psychic Jump and Psychic Shield. Psychic Shield would protect Silver from melee attacks and projectiles. Psychic Jump would increase Silver's jump height, and it is a good idea. I have came up with this idea from Amy Stomp in Sonic Frontiers, and Amy Stomps in Sonic Frontiers allows Amy to move higher in the air. Silver should have an Unleashed meter like the Werehog. When Silver's in his Unleashed state, his body would be surrounded by a green aura, and I would want the animation of the green aura around Silver's body to be really cool. When Silver's in his psychokinesis form, he would be stronger and barely get stunned by enemies. Silver's movement speed in Unleashed should feel like a better version of the custom character. The avatar's movement in Forces is a bit stiff if you try to turn or jump. If the custom character has better controls and better physics, it would feel similar to that of the adventure games. I feel like that Sega would make Silver's movement speed faster, all because there is another Sonic character that has slow movement, and in later games, that character's movement speed was faster. The Sonic character that I am obviously talking about It is Amy. A lot of Sonic fans complained during the time of SA1 that Amy's movement speed was very slow, but Sega did listen to the fan complaints and made Amy's movement speed faster. If Sonic Team can make Silver's movement speed a lot better, people would play Silver. I don't want Silver's gameplay to be a copy of the Boost's gameplay. Silver's gameplay should feel different and unique compared to Sonic. I am done talking about Silver Unleashed gameplay mechanics. Let's transition into story. The story for Silver Unleashed could be Silver going back in time and facing off against Dark Gaia's minions. Silver could save the different parts of the Sonic world being taken over by Dark Gaia's minions, and that would be really cool. I would want Silver to face off against Dark Gaia, but I don't think that it would happen. If Sega does a Silver Unleashed, it would tie in with Sonic Unleashed, and Sega won't contradict that. Maybe Silver can see some other characters that wasn't in Unleashed, like Knuckles or even Shadow. The idea of Sonic Unleashed is about going on a worldwide adventure and exploring different parts of the world, which is really cool. Maybe Silver would explore different nations in the Sonic universe, like Japan, Paris, or even Mexico. I would want Soliana to return, and Soliana would be a cool place to visit. Soliana is based on Venice, and Venice is a cool water city. Venice is located in Italy, but in the Sonic universe, Spagonia is Sonic's version of Italy. Maybe Sonic Team can create some interesting lore between Spagonia and Soliana, and that would be cool. If Silver explores these different nations and has a fun interactions with the citizens of the culture, that would be really cool. One of the cool things of Sonic Unleashed, you can eat the different foods of these different nations and gain XP points. Nowadays, a lot of modern RPG games has done eating mechanics to boost up your stats, and this mechanic is nothing new. If Silver can create different foods from different regions by cooking them, that would be really interesting for Sonic, all because Sonic never really had a cooking mechanic. It would be really fun if Silver can have these different reactions for eating these different foods, and it would be really amazing. Like, for example, Silver's favorite food is apples, and he enjoys eating apples. Sega has been promoting Silver eating candy apples or any apple-based food. If Silver can have a lot of different reactions within the different nations, that would be cool. If Sega doesn't want to do human nations with Silver, I got a different idea in mind. Silver could explore the anthropomorphic world of Sonic, and that would be really cool. It was explained in a Tales tube that animal people live in islands, which is very interesting. If Silver can explore the different animal civilizations in the Sonic universe, that would be a cool idea. What would Sunset Heights would be like if it wasn't damaged from war? And that would be fascinating. Sunset Heights is a cartoony exaggeration of San Francisco, but unique to Sonic. Some of the buildings of Sunset Heights is unique to Sonic, and even though it has similarities to San Francisco, like the Golden Gate Bridge, but in Sonic Forces, the Golden Gate Bridge is called Red Gate Bridge. Look at the Sunset Heights Plaza. I feel like that Sega can reuse Sunset Heights Plaza as a shopping district, and it would be a clever idea. If Sega can make the Sunset Heights Plaza a cool place to visit, and it would be something similar to that of Empire City's Plaza, that would be really cool. If we can get more animal locations in Sonic that are based on real-life locations, that are widely exaggerated in Sonic's art style, that would be cool. I can imagine that Starlight Zone being New York and Casino Night Zone being Las Vegas. I hope that Sega would explore these animal locations in a future Sonic game. Before I end the video, I would ask you guys a question. If there was a Silver Unleashed, what society would you guys really want to be explored more? The animal-based society or the human-based society in the Sonic universe? Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe, but also leave a comment below if you guys really want to see more of my content. Anyway, see you guys soon.